Well, let me say happy Tuesday to all of you out there in social media world. This is, yes, Brother Dana coming to you from where? The frigid Arctic cold of Chicago. Yes, it is freezing up here, and that is why I look forward to December when I walk across the stage and get my master's, which will then free me up to move out of this Midwest. And one of those reasons is due to the cold. But anyway, I want to say hello to all of you, and as always, I want to give a special shout out to the chosen people of the Most High Yah. And I pray that you are doing well. I know you haven't seen me very much in the last few weeks again, but I'm still dealing with this here dog bite. Still battling killing out the osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection that is wanting to eat away the bones of my hand. But, you know, all things work together for good to those who love Yah and are also called to His purpose. And so this was allowed to happen. And I give Him the glory for the things that He's doing in the season of dealing with this. Sometimes it's just a matter of being quiet and having to put things away and just really talk some more to Him. And in that, talking and looking at social media, I wanted to talk to you tonight about something that I really disagree with, something that I totally disagree with. And it's, you know, being thrown out there that Trump and his administration is now giving the okay for racism to take a stand again. For racism to be bold again, for racism and prejudice to come out, as well as this white supremacy. And the perfect example of that is just what took place here, I believe yesterday in Chicago, when Jussie was beaten. And yes, we don't know if it was because he was gay or because he was black, but in any case, the issue is the same. It is a deliberate rise up of white supremacy. And with that, many people are saying and giving, you know, credit to Trump for allowing this to happen. Well, maybe it's just a play of words, but I don't believe, and nor can I accept, that Trump is allowing something or giving the okay to something that has been a part of America and white supremacy from the very foundation. We have always been allowed to show white supremacy. We have always been allowed to let you know, especially my black brothers and sisters, where you stand in this country. That has always been, from the moment you arrived here on the slave ship, or even during that journey, through the 50s, the 60s, and all those years up to now. So how can we give credit to a man to give the okay or allow racism and white supremacy to happen when it's always been happening? What I do believe Trump is now doing, again, is giving his blessing to those, to white Americans, to show their power. He's giving the blessing. And a perfect example of that is we look at this young white high school student from a Catholic school that was wearing the Make America Great Again red hat, and was at this rally and was then finally credited that all the videos of him with his face and what he was doing was misinterpreted, and his intentions was only to settle the dispute or what was rising up between the Hebrew Israelites on one side screaming and hollering at the elder Native American Indians and those that were with him. And so this white young man that was in this elder's personal space, staring with him with a face that didn't show any love or defending, because again, I did a video on this. I believe if he was defending this man, he would have been standing beside him. Or if it was in front of him, it wouldn't be staring him down with the disrespectful stare that came out of this young man's face. And then wearing a Make America Great Again hat is a non-verbal disrespectful sign. But us being great white saviors that come around, he has been now noted for that, and I was told that he was invited to the White House. But yet the young black man that took down the shooter at the Waffle House and saved lives, I don't think so much even got a call or a note in the mail of thank you from the White House. So Trump now is openly giving the blessing to white Americans who are not just silently living out their racist and white supremacist ways, but are now living them out boldly and confidently. Because a man cannot okay something that has always been happening. But what he's doing again is giving the blessing for us as white Americans to show and to display confidently and boldly our white supremacist, racist behavior. And it saddens me as well, on a side note, that those Hebrew Israelites, but it's very powerful also that the enemy is doing everything that he can to disqualify or to destroy the reputation of you, the chosen people of the Most High, by broadcasting what we saw at this rally. But what saddens me with that is we will now, as white Americans, quickly judge all Hebrew brothers and sisters. And that, as we would see it, a religion, supposedly lifestyle, or called by, or God's called chosen people. Just like we will degrade Muslims based off of the behavior of ISIS or a few radical Muslims. But yet never has Christianity saw themselves as horrible when we look at the KKK. And when we look at the Catholic priests that not only have sexually abused young men and boys for centuries, but have hidden it and not taken responsibility for it. And so on a side note, that is another sad ordeal. But it also lets me know that the season is really changing, for the enemy is doing everything in his power, in the last grasp that he has, in this last moment and season that he's been given, to tear down the image and the people of this country that are the chosen. My brothers and sisters that have ancestors that were brought here on slave ships. And even in these last few days, I have had several conversations with some white Gentile classmates that graduated a year or two behind me, after me, and just how clearly those racist attitudes are coming out. Why? Not because they're finally given the okay to do it. They've always had the okay. But because they follow a man that is blessing them for doing it. And so that is why I don't believe we should give Trump the credit for allowing or saying okay for racism and white supremacy to do what it's been doing. for centuries. But what he's doing now is he's blessing those white Americans who are boldly acting on their white supremacy in racist hearts. And my question is, where's the Christian church? Well, let's go back to what was very powerful in the Christian white church. Those who came out on a Sunday morning after rejoicing and reading scripture and then grabbed their white hoodies and their white gowns and ran and spent the afternoon lynching the very people that we now know are the chosen of the Most High. So be encouraged and know that season is really at bay. It is right there. And in talking to these white Gentile associates that I know, that fear is there. That fear is there. They may not be able to describe it, but they know it's there. Because as much as the Most High is opening up the eyes of his chosen people who have been blinded for all these 400 plus years, he's also beginning to stir up the fear. Because see, when you as my black brothers and sisters are walking into your identity, in the spirit realm, there is a shifting and there is a shaking. And my white Gentile Christians and just white Gentile family members are feeling it. And that is why I'm saying to you to be encouraged that your time of redemption is very close. You can always hit me up at www.onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. Please, for the next few weeks, I try to get back to those of you, but it's only a couple words because I'm typing with basically one finger. I thank you to all of those that have sent me prayers and emails checking up on me. Again, if people want to know why I am happy to be called a race traitor and why I would never go back and into the fullness of my white family, is because I have never been embraced and loved and supported, even before now, by a group of people more than what I did know before as my black brothers and sisters, but who I know now are the precious chosen people of the Most High. And as always, it's an honor that the Most High Yah would open my eyes to see the truth and allow me this privilege to be counted with you, even at the loss of so much. What can I lose? Because look at what I've gained. Till we talk again, shalom.